Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Dignity Health Sports Park here in Carson, California, as we have a big night of action coming away, brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions and Showtime. Introducing our three judges scoring our opening attraction from ringside, we have from California, Tiffany Clinton, from Mexico, Alejandro Rochin, and from California, Zachary Young. Introducing our third man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Gerard White. All right, fans, here we go, a welterweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with red and gold trim, and joining us from North Las Vegas, Nevada. He weighed in at 144 pounds. His record 16 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Juan Heraldez. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trunks with white trim, fighting out of La Quinta, California. He weighed in right at 140 pounds even. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 23 wins, no losses, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the IBF number 9 ranked junior welterweight world ranked contender, introducing the undefeated Brandun Lee. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Gerard White.
Fighter chief second. Fighter chief second. Gentlemen, went over the rules in the dressing room. The trunks are good here. Trunks are good here. When I say stop, don't throw any punches. I say break, take a step back. When I say box, we can go to work. Let's touch them up.
Referee Gerard White, 15 years as a pro, working his 251st pro bout as we begin our live triple header here on hallowed ground in Southern California. The bell and round 1, Brandun Lee among the most dynamic and intriguing prospects in boxing. High ring IQ for his age, self-assured yet grounded, and with Heraldez looking for his first win in 3 fights, Al, he admitted that against Prograis he needed to prepare better, needed to rely more on his skills and talent.
And he's changed trainers for this fight. He's gone back to his amateur trainer, Gilberto Martinez, and he also added a strength and conditioning coach for the first time. He's hoping that will help his endurance. He's hoping to make it into those later rounds.
Yeah, formerly trained by Otis Pimpleton, as Brandun Lee Abner already showcasing his vaunted power.
Oh yeah, he's definitely came here to give us a show. I mean, if you're Heraldez, you don't want to do that. You don't want to trade punches early on in the fight, but he's going for it.
Oh, and Heraldez landing some punches of his own.
He landed a nice overhand right and a good left hook, Heraldez. So,
I mean, if I could coach him, I would say, box. Box the first couple of rounds, take this fight into later rounds. But hey, all you do.
Oh, beautiful right hand that landed across the jaw of Heraldez, and Heraldez, who's been down twice in his career, took it well.
Exactly, he took it well. I was just about to say that. He only knows how Lee punches. But so far, Heraldez taking his punches really well.
Heraldez with 4 first-round KOs. Last one came in February of 2016 as Lee jabs to the body and then goes upstairs with a textbook 1-2 through the guard.
Yeah, Lee, in his last 8 fights, which has averaged 1.9 rounds, he's got 13 knockdowns those fights. So he didn't get one with that big overhand right that landed against Heraldez.
No too much waiting from Heraldez. He's got to be busy with the jab, have Lee thinking, giving Lee too much of an opportunity to throw his punches.
Coming up on the final 60 seconds of what has been a hard-hitting opening 3 minutes.
Yeah, Heraldez averages 25 jabs per round, lands 6. He might need to up that number. Instead, he's kind of lowered it.
He felt his speed, his talent, and his jab are all going to come together in this fight. He says he is going to give the best performance of his career. And both of them off to a scintillating start here with 30 seconds left in the first frame.
Lee Heraldez has found a home for the double left hook. He's thrown it. He's not known for that punch at all, but he's landing it.
Might have found something there. But I like what Lee's doing now. You know, he's not overcommitting too much. You know, it's the first round.
Already a spirited scrap, and we have just completed the first round.
Oh, that was a very eventful first round. Lee landing the right hand is kind of on the neck of Heraldez after that left hook. But Heraldez did some very good work in that round. There's the left hook, one of the left hooks that landed. He also doubled with that punch, and here he comes again with it. Then later on, Lee, this was one of the really good, he jabs to the body, sets up that right hand, and lands a beauty, but Heraldez took it extremely well. That was a close and exciting round of boxing.
How's your power? Relax. I'm talking to you. Huh? What's the matter with you? You sure? You're getting dumb now. Stuttering. Huh? I'm not saying. Okay. Get it right. You understand? More jabs. Look for check right.
Lee's fought, calling for more jabs as we begin the second stanza. And immediately Lee jabs to the body.
And we got to point out that Heraldez only has one defeat, and that was against Prograde. So, you know, he's been in there tough. So,
winless in his last two. In fact, this is his second appearance here in Carson, California. He knocked out Eddie Ramirez in the 7th round in February of 2019, which just so happened to be Heraldez's last win.
Yeah, he had the draw with Mendez. That was a very close fight. Obviously, it turned out to be a draw. So, as you said, not having a win lately, but he's off to a very good start in this fight and showing a lot of good offense.
Those are all great learning experience. You know,
expected to be the toughest test for Lee as he elevates his game after shining on ShowBox, a new generation. Looking forward to the return of ShowBox in January, as Lee again continues to attack the body with the jab, but doesn't follow up with his right.
See, again, I would like Heraldez to feint, throw a jab here and there, but, you know, he's letting Lee be first. You got to get out first. There it is. You want to keep Lee busy.
And Heraldez now starting to use his jab effectively.
And really going into it as we talk, beautiful combination by Heraldez, right to the body, left upstairs, scored.
If you can back up the puncher, you have won. You've won the battle of geography, and that's what Heraldez is doing.
Yeah, show him something different, something you've never seen before. Heraldez, you want to push the younger fighter, Lee, back.
Lee taking a clear step up in class while still being in class. A junior at university at Cal State San Bernardino. Plans on getting his bachelor's in criminal justice, and he may even go for his master's in business. 22-year-old Brandun Lee, future looks bright.
Yeah, they reduced his course load to accommodate the boxing, but he's still interested in his education.
And Heraldez looking to reduce Lee's power and acquitting himself well.
Yeah, these are very close rounds, interesting rounds.
They are. Heraldez having Lee, you know, he's thinking a lot right now, Lee, and that's because Heraldez not giving him the advantage. He's not giving the position for Lee to get off.
Let's take a look at the keys to victory for these men. And we will start off with Brandun Lee. You know, Heraldez coming in, as we've said, off the knockout loss. He wants to cast doubt early and create some doubt. I don't know if he's done that. Lee is known for his power, but he's also an excellent combination puncher. We haven't seen that yet. His right hand, of course, is a fight closer. He hopes it will be tonight. He's already landed a few. As for Heraldez, he can't stand in the pocket to exchange with Lee, although that's what he's been doing and doing it well. Heraldez has been 10 rounds 3 times. Lee has never been past 4. Wants to take him into deep water. Now, Heraldez is not a power puncher, but he has good power in his right hand. That's the best power punch for him.
Round number 3. Brandun Lee, 23-0, 21 knockouts, all 21 KOs have come within the first 3 rounds. As we mentioned, only 2 fighters have gone the 4-round distance with him. So this is a round in which Brandun Lee will look to try to assert himself, but Juan Heraldez, he doesn't care about stats, guys. He's here to get back on the winning track, and he's here to take out Lee and hang that first L on his resume.
This is the round in which Lee knocked out Samuel Tia with a highlight reel knockout. And Tia had never been knocked out in his career, and that's why they had him fighting Lee. They thought he could go rounds with him.
See, I like what Heraldez is doing now. Again, having Lee think with the jab. You want to jab. You want to keep jabbing to the body. Keep him busy. Keep him thinking. And keep at a range where Lee's not going to land perfectly. Just as an example right there.
Yeah, Lee landed to the body.
Heraldez has already thrown 8 jabs in this round, so he is using that punch more.
Counter jab and a sharp jab lands for Lee. Lee with the lead left hook just misses. Jab by Lee knocks Heraldez off balance momentarily, just past the midpoint of the 3rd.
And you can sense that Lee's not looking for a knockout. He's letting the rounds go by, and if a punch's gonna land, it's gonna land.
He may not be looking for it, and
it comes by
itself. But he has promised he would deliver one. And again, when you get a chance to sit down and talk to Brandun Lee, a 22-year-old, very cerebral, obviously very skilled, keeping it in the family, keeping it in the garage, which during COVID was a benefit, a bonus.
Yeah, they go to Joel Diaz's gym to spar, but most of their training's done in that garage with his dad.
Heraldez, some bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, Heraldez using his head movement pretty well in this fight too, which is interesting. He's showing dimensions in this fight. We haven't seen from him that much in other fights.
He usually just pushes straight forward back, and now he's using a little bit more angles. He's moving his head like you just mentioned, like he just made Lee miss with the jab. So not giving him a perfect target.
Final 15 seconds, lead right uppercut, left hook by Lee that missed, but first uppercut. And we are going to round number 4.
You may be broke. Look up.
Okay, spit there. Listen to me. You got to listen to me. Afterwards, you're going to be sorry. When he starts with that jab, then you go with the right. You're feinting good, but start hitting him. Do not let him rest. You need to connect with him. Keep you working, have him go back.
If you're trying to set him up something? I think when he comes in, I'm going to put him with the right hand. Okay, but don't be too wide. You're being too wide. Don't drop your right hand. You hear me? Huh?
Round number 4, scheduled for 10 Undefeated Brandun Lee, known for his KO power against veteran Juan Heraldez, looking for his first win in his last 3 fights.
You know, Heraldez came into this fight off with a 14-month layoff, but he has looked sharp despite the layoff.
He's found a home for that hook. He just landed it seconds ago.
And there's a left hook from Lee.
Yeah, and Lee is known as a right-handed puncher, but he also has a good left hook. So Heraldez has gotten away with trading those left hooks, and he's done pretty well.
Listen, Lee is a great counter puncher. He's really explosive. But again, Heraldez not yet giving him that target, that opportunity. Let's see if Lee goes out and looks for it, because right now he's waiting.
And you know, Lee has been more active in these rounds than Heraldez. He's thrown more punches, about 60 or so more punches overall in this fight. So that activity could be winning him some of these rounds.
There's a double jab and a hook off the jab by Lee. And here comes Heraldez biting down and throwing with bad intentions. And there's Brandun Lee with the 1-2, splitting the guard, putting Heraldez on the ropes momentarily. So Lee definitely listening to his father in terms of establishing the jab and using it in different ways.
Yes, you win a fight with the jab. You establish the jab, and you got the round. I mean, the round 1, and that's how you set up the combinations. There it is. Perfect.
Yeah, 4-punch combination by Lee and a lead left hand. They're out.
Yeah, we mentioned before he's a good combination puncher when he gets it going.
I like when Lee's aggressive. I feel like he's more. He's a better fighter when he comes forward, because he doesn't just go in forward. He throws punches and bunches.
And that's his personality. Going backward is not.
Jabbing again, Lee trying to loop that left hook around the guard of Heraldez and really trying to establish the jab to the body, immediately going upstairs with a jab. Under 30 seconds left here in the 4th round.
Lee has thrown 31 jabs this round, so as his father told him to do, he is doing it.
And landed 10 according to show stats. 15 seconds left here in round number 4. And in 22-year-old Brandun Lee's 24th professional fight, he is going past round 4 for the very first time. And for the very first time, let's say hello to Jim Gray.
All right, Moro, thank you very much. Here with Nonito Donaire. It's nice to talk to somebody my own age.
Yes. I'll take it. You look great, man.
Well, thank you. So do you. Hey, there is a big age difference here, 14 years. Does that even come into play in your mind?
No, not at all. I mean, again, I don't look at the numbers. I look at the performance that I showed up in the gym, and just the confidence level that I have.
How do you prepare yourself to fight somebody who's looked up to you, and he's also a countryman? Does it make it more difficult to want to go out and beat the heck out of that guy?
Not quite. I mean, for me, I give all the respect to all the fighters. Doesn't mean that, I'm going to be the nicest guy outside the ring, but inside the ring, it's just a different story. There's just another person cage inside that in this vessel that I have, and when I leash that, there's no mercy.
All right. Best of luck. We'll talk to you after the fight.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you. How to you, Mark?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. This is round number 5. Is there any more amazing ambassador for the sport of boxing than Nonito Donaire? Heck, he'll translate his opponent.
Such a nice guy.
That was amazing at the press conference.
Incredible.
He translated because Gaballo was having a hard time communicating. He translated for him.
And imagine for Gaballo, again, his idol growing up, but that's still to come in the main event. Let us not be distracted here, because we've got a fantastic fight brewing here between the undefeated Brandun Lee and Juan Heraldez, the 30-year-old veteran. And even though he is older than Lee, Lee has more in-ring experience.
Which is fascinating. And you made the point that this is the first time Lee has seen the 5th round. We'll see if Heraldez can take advantage of that.
And yet Lee is beginning the 5th like he doesn't want to see a 6th round after.
He said, you know what, I like 1 round, but I don't want any more rounds in my. But listen, this is all experience for Lee. He's learning a lot. Even if the fight goes a distance, you know, these are fights where you're going to learn.
I'm really admiring the punch placement by Brandun Lee as well, Al, going upstairs, downstairs in combination.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see from a young fighter. Yes, he's got the power, but you can't always rely on it. It's not always going to produce a win for you.
Just ask Gervonta Tank Davis.
There you go.
But what I like from Lee, he's done different things every round, and in this round he's picking it up a little bit more, and you know that's what comes with the experience. You know what round, how to change the tempo, the type of fight, and we're seeing it now from Lee.
And Juan Heraldez providing the test that a youngster like Brandun Lee needs in his continuous journey, his maturation as a professional prize fighter. And again, for Heraldez, he's got a lot at stake. He knows he's 0-1-1 in his last two. If he were to knock off a young prospect like Brandun Lee, that would lead to much bigger opportunities.
And remember, he was in a position where he had a big fight with Regis Prograis. He was a top contender in the weight class. And so he said, I want to get back to that spot where I was headed toward a championship fight or a major fight beyond even Prograis. And so this win is important to him.
Yeah, he's not worried about being an underdog as Heraldez again in the pocket here. Brandun Lee, though, really establishing the jab, the tempo, and dictating the terms here. And boy, slams the jab into the face of Heraldez. So Brandun Lee beginning to put the pressure on Heraldez more and more.
Yeah, you can tell how well this round went for Lee. Look at Heraldez's face. He's bloody. Lee's landed great punches, effective punches. Like that pressure from Lee.
First half of this scheduled 10-round bout is in the books. It's been a good one.
Well, it was probably the best round of the fight for Brandun Lee. And we'll show you why. Early on, the right hand lands and a nice combination, following it with the left hook. And as the round went on, the combination punching of Lee became a factor. Using that jab to open up these other punches. That's sound fundamental boxing.
That right fell, so keep throwing it, but you're letting him rest too much. You got to be a little quicker, okay? Feint and then you get closer. So feint and then get closer. Come on, let's go.
6, mouthpiece. Mouthpiece, Brandon, mouthpiece. 6.
We begin the second half of our live opener here from Carson, California, in the great outdoors. A little chilly, but the action definitely heating up here between Brandun Lee and Juan Heraldez.
Great combination that Lee landed, but Heraldez came back with his home right hand. Trying to get Lee's attention, letting him know that he's still in this fight.
These are the rounds, though, where Heraldez's lack of power become an issue for him. Yeah, he could still win rounds and maybe still win the fight, but he might need to hurt Lee at some point here, and that's a problem because he's just not a big puncher, overall.
Well, let's find out how our unofficial scorer, Hall of Famer Steve Farhood, has it at the midway point.
Well, Mo, tonight we're seeing Brandon the boxer, not just Brandon the bomber. Judges don't care, of course, how a fight is fought, only with results. And the results I see, Brandun Lee landing the bigger shots, the harder punches, with the exception of round 2, which I think was close. I think Brandun Lee has clearly won every round. I have him up 50-45, 5 rounds to 0.
And of course, Steve Farhood chronicling Brandun Lee's rise on ShoBox, the new generation, and graduating here to Showtime Championship Boxing. As we look at the record past round 5, well, we've already documented the fact that this is the first time that Brandun Lee has been this deep in a fight out.
Yeah, and he's going to town in this round. As we point out, instead of him fading as these rounds go by, he's getting stronger.
And Abner, the scouting report, when you study Heraldez, he has tended to fade in prior fights. So Brandun Lee putting on the pressure in the second half of this fight and continuing to do so here in the 6th.
Yeah, Lee being the smart fighter. You know what? He didn't go out and look for a knockout. He let the rounds go by, doing different things every single round, and now he picked it up from the 6th, and we're seeing it even more in this. I mean, from the 5th, we're seeing it more in the 6th round.
Yeah, Heraldez in the Mendez draw did fade in the later rounds. That's why he hired the conditioning coach. He was hoping that would help him in these later rounds.
22 years of age and putting together crafty combinations, absorbing the double jab from Heraldez. What's impressed you the most from the youngster thus far, Abner, in terms of facing a veteran like Heraldez thus far?
Again, you know, not looking for the knockout. He's placing his punches right, taking this fight as he should, round by round. And his combinations, I mean, are just great. He combines upstairs, downstairs really well.
Brandun Lee again scoring with the combination upstairs as we go to Jim Gray.
All right, Mauro, thank you very much. Remart and Jim will interpret for us. What's it like for him to now fight somebody who he has looked up to for so long?
Excited ko na makadula siya sa ring. So,
yeah, I'm very excited that this is it.
You now find yourself in a circumstance with an opportunity of a lifetime. What do you think you have to do in the early stages of this fight to establish yourself to earn his respect?
Nakasay mong opportunity sa imong kinabuhi. Unsay mo ang himuon sa sugod para makasabay ka sa iya and makuha nimo yung respeto.
Basta karon niya dula mo. Basta karon focus lang ko sa game plan, sa training, sa dula. So kita na sa dula yun.
Yeah, I'm just focused on my game plan and what we did in training, and let's see what happens, and I'm ready.
Very good. Best of luck. We'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you. All right, Mauro, back out to you.
All right, Jim, rare all-Filipino championship match, the main event coming up later tonight. Right now, round 7 between undefeated Brandun Lee going to the body again on Juan Heraldez.
You know, Lee is good friends with Boots Ennis, of course, the welterweight sensation that also came to prominence on Showbox, and now is a top welterweight. And he's like about a year or so behind where Ennis was in terms of development, and he's headed in the same direction, it looks like.
They are KO kindred spirits.
Yeah, exactly. Well put. And good alliteration.
Thank you. The master. Well, speaking of the alliteration, though, look at the way the powerful punches, Abner, being put together by Lee, but it's not so much all power. It's like Alice mentioned, look at the jab. Look at the way he goes to the body, upstairs, back to the body. It's a clinic.
He's setting up punches really well. The jab upstairs, the uppercut seconds ago, waiting for Heraldez to make mistakes. Again, you know, this is a learning from experience from Lee, and again, he's taking this fight as that.
And it is boxing. It is sweet science. This is the art. Make him miss, make him pay, and there, leaping lead left hook that lands out.
You see the power punch numbers. Of course, that's everything other than a jab. And 38% is a very good percentage for Lee to be landing. Obviously, for Heraldez, not so good. Wow! Remember, early in the fight, Heraldez was landing power punches, not the last 4 or 5 rounds.
Beautiful combinations executed by Brandun Lee.
See, and the reason why Lee's getting off and letting his hands go a little bit more is because Heraldez stopped throwing the jab. He stopped being busy, and he's just pulling back. He's moving backwards straight, so, I mean, Lee, just go ahead and take advantage of that.
Heraldez goes down in round 7! 5, 6. Brandun Lee closes the show with his 22nd KO. 24-0, shows off his boxing and finishes with his power.
Talk about setting up a knockout. That's exactly what he did in this fight.
The way he got the knockout, using those jabs to the body to set up the right hand, that was, I think, the most impressive part, as you point out, Abner.
Heraldez gets stopped for the second consecutive time.
Very tough loss for him at age 31. You know, he wanted to have this get in the win column to help him get back to where he wanted to be.
14th knockdown in his last 9 fights. The show stats, they tell the tale.
They do, landing 39% of the power punches, Lee. And look at how many jabs he threw. A lot of jabs. And that was one of the big differences. It helped set up all his other punches.
Brandun Lee gave us more rounds this time, but he gave us exceptional rounds. You know, every round was different. He was showing different type of skills, different type of movement, and he knew when to pressure and how to set up a knockout.
And we will get a chance to see just how that happened. Coming in, jabbing to the stomach. We're going to see those jabs downstairs. There's the, well, that was after the jabs downstairs. That was jabbing to the head then, after he had jabbed downstairs and landing the straight right hand. And here we'll take a look at it again.
Yeah, he set it up with the jab hook right hand. There it is. The hook is just to place that powerful right hand, and he did so right in the chin. I think he broke Heraldez' nose.
Yeah, he's holding his nose, and it was clearly injured. So it just very impressive on every level for Lee, and he knew he knew when that right hand landed he was going to get a knockdown, hoping for the knockout, and that's exactly what he got.
Let's make it official with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes 11 seconds in round number 7. Our referee in charge, Gerard White, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout and still undefeated, Brandun Lee.
You don't want no problem with Lee. Brandun Lee, 22 years of age now, 24-0, 22 knockouts, records his 15th straight stoppage victory. Let's hear from the winner. Here's Jim Gray.
All right, Mauro, thank you very much. Brandun, congratulations. You went 7 rounds tonight before you solved the puzzle. How would you assess your performance?
I have to watch the fight, but listening to my pops, he's not too happy about my performance. But
why?
Because my father's a perfectionist. I think everyone here, including myself, thought I would take one out much earlier. But we went 7 rounds. I showed everybody that I know how to box. Everyone thinks I'm a puncher, but nah, best believe I can box.
So you've now knocked guys down 22 times in your last, well, this is your 22nd knockout, but you knocked guys down 14 times in your last 9 fights. When you set it up here with the left jab and then the right hook, tell us what you saw from your vantage point.
I kept seeing that Juan kept going to his right. So my right hand was probably 2 inches too short. So, you know, I was letting him forget about the check right, left hook right hand. So I was just jab him, box him, go around circles, let him, you know, forget about my right hand. And then, what was that, 7th round?
7th round.
7th round came out, and I made my adjustment, and boom, got him.
You did, boom. So now, what would you like to do going forward? Are you ready to face somebody perhaps in the top 10 at 140?
Personally, I'm ready. Bring them on. By the end of the day, it's up to my team and my manager, Cameron Duncan. By the end of the day, let's get it.
All right, here we go. Hometown crowd. Thanks, Brandun.
Thank you to everyone who came out. Much love to all my supporters and fans. Thank you to everyone from the Coachella Valley who came out. To all my sponsors, Genro, Litecoin. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.